Alright, guys and gals, it is time to finally cover the grand finals map of the Tiny Wars Open Tournament, Coast Assault. I am Advanced Warrior.
And I'm CJ.
And you are looking at a 3-base map with no airports. However, we do have a port, although battleships can't really go through. Each player starts off with a lander. Now, you might be thinking that these are islands, but actually, the shoals up here are connected. The 4 that's over here are connected. 4 over here as well, and 4 over here as well. So, there's actually...
Also, like this one too?
Yeah, and that little one spot there, my mistake. So, actually, there could be a bit more naval interaction for this map. But there's like so many possible openings that you could do with this lander if you like put it near a base, like maybe put it over here, or like maybe put it over here, and then you could like drop it off in the center, get the center early. HQs in the corners with enemy radars. They do produce income, so if you get that, you do take 2 income advantage. But I feel like this map is just... There's a lot of wacky possibilities for openings, and this was one of the reasons why we picked it.
Yeah. I don't know what is a good opener here. I haven't played this map, honestly, but I thought this map looked cool, and so we both came to the agreement, yeah, let's just have the first place players do it, because they'll probably figure out what's optimal here.
Yeah.
Or at least they'll be closer.
I do know a bike over here. Even though there are 2 shoal tiles, can still capture this, and then they could start capturing this. So it's like already a nice little bike chain here, kind of put you in the middle a little bit. From my experience, I do know that what was it controlled to? From my experience, I do know that these properties are very contested. Sometimes these 2 over here can be contested as well. And looking at the base production here, the closest bases are blue has this one. Although with infantry it could go straight, with vehicles I have to go around, and like if they get vehicles, it's gonna have to go through 2 forest tiles. So yeah, the base here could go either... I gotta remember the keybinds. Could either go here with infantry, or go like this way with the vehicle, and like this one can either go through here or go through here. This one can maybe trek a little closer than this base here. Like you build infantry here and you build vehicles here, and you could like start sending units like that. But of course the landers, they can go like let's say we put this lander here, and it can like already start reinforcing the center, assuming that's not waiting. Like say you build a vehicle here, pretend this is a vehicle, and we just oh wait, I'm playing against an AI, whoops. So like if this was a vehicle, you could load it here, and then like you could like maybe drop it into a forest. Now I'm not too entirely sure, out of these 4 cities in the center, which of these should belong to who. I want to assume red gets these cities. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then blue...
I don't really...
What the heck was that? Hey, we made a face.
My bad.
Okay, you have mouse control. You have mouse control.
Yeah. I mean, you asked the question, I don't have the answer to this one. I mean, usually, like in the other maps, it's relatively clear because you're only dealing with ground. Where it's like, oh, just count the number, 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yeah.
But with this, because you have landers and stuff, you can put things in like range immediately, and so
yes,
I wouldn't be surprised if we had a position very early where there's just 2 infantry standing off with one another. Who really?
This center ain't big enough for the 2 of us.
Yeah, like who really gets to choose what gets capped there? I'm not really sure. So yeah, but I mean, for sure, if one side caps one side of the bases, then or one side of the cities, then the other player is going to get the other. So, or at least naturally, that's what you'd expect. But hey, maybe red gets all of them. I don't know.
Maybe. But
it's also possible that first turn advantage might be really strong here, or something, or second turn advantage maybe even. Maybe because the
lander doesn't.
Where did the lander start?
I don't think it starts. It just stays
it doesn't
there. Yeah.
start. Yeah. So. Then in this case, I would still say first turn advantage, just because the lander would be here.
Unless
this person gets to build the infantry.
Unless you don't go for the base as player 2, you can have 2 infantry in the center. And then the base. What does he say? Like 3 turns? Like 3 turns to get this?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 3 turns to get to that base.
Yeah. So maybe we might not see a lander that early in the game because they probably would want to get infantry to actually cross through here and actually get it. But I feel like the 2 players that are going to play on this map are going to have to adapt to every turn, because unless they want to calculate every single thing they could do with their lander, they gotta account for what units can be loaded onto that lander, and if that is the unit going in, where would it want to go, where would that lander want to go, depending on the specific units. So I feel like on this map, the players will need to adapt rather than plan so many turns ahead, unless they can physically do that.
Yeah, I'm honestly leaning towards blue or second player being in the stronger position. Because I think the ability to... Oh, right, I'm not... Well, whatever. I think the ability to put the lander here, have this cap here, and then the second turn you fake out the cap and just load 2 infantry in the lander and drop both of them at the same time in the middle. Puts a lot of pressure where you get to decide what happens in the center.
I don't know how I feel about that fake out though, because if you do the fake out, it might be a bit more obvious, because I think it's slower to do the fake out and try to get the base. You're gonna stop yourself 1 full turn. I think these infantry are gonna need all the movement they can get if they're going to capture that base in 3 turns. So they can maybe do the fake out, it could work, but they might be behind on some production, because we said it, 3 turns. Bike, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1.
There's no... The bike should not...
The bike should... no, the bike can get in 3 turns, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, but you're also just trapped with your...
your bike would also get trapped here, because, the bike can't cross the river. Infantry and mechs can't cross that river.
Just use the infantry there.
Yeah. So, CO predictions... with the lack of airports, Will, Lin, Gage is what I'm thinking of right now.
Gage does get naval boost for sure.
No, not just a naval boost. Indirects just love it when there are no airports. Believe me, my 300 subscribers special. No. CJ was freaking Gage and we had no airports. Indirects love it when there are no airports.
Yeah, but this map is pretty wide open, and then also with all of those beach tiles, there's no defense on those, so...
That is true.
I am not so sure about Gage, actually. Naval is not super useful, because all you would do is have a battleship that's, kind of blocked.
You think about naval when you hear Gage?
I mean, he does give a naval boost.
He does, but I was more thinking about the indirects.
Yeah. For the indirects, I think it's a little too open.
Okay, so with how open the map is, Will or Lin, definitely, because they're both ground specialists. While Will has the bigger zone, offering more units more firepower, Lin actually does give some of her units defense that this map is lacking in some areas. That's a potential.
Yeah, that's true. I like that defense thought.
Tabitha?
Foresight could be pretty good here.
Foresight definitely.
It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, has a larger zone, could put some units in that zone. Tabitha, because I don't know Actually, maybe I did say that this base can like have vehicles and just start pushing up here, vice versa over here. With if the fighting happens on the sides, I think Tabitha could definitely be an option because you might want to send like let's say Tabitha starts going here. This goes here. Like this base, you would already have like a vehicle maybe. Easy to reinforce that side. This lander, you can maybe put it here, but a vehicle here, and then it could go down here. It has to go through a wasteland, and then like start fighting over here. But it's just gonna be like a back and forth with the lander to reinforce that side. If there is enough Tabitha pressure, but again, it's just another prediction.
I actually like. Yeah, that is a good point. I think some silly plays can be made if you place the lander here, and you build, you know, like a pretty expensive, or well, you build your CO tank here, and then you can either, you know, make it so that you're expecting your opponent expects you to go down here, but instead you bring it to here, and then the lander kind of launches it off all the way over here. I think with that, you can kind of have tabby pressure kind of everywhere.
Actually,
you could have your lander kind of ferried around, at least in the beginning, so that you kind of fake out your opponent too.
I just want to look at some real quickly. Oh, a tank can go all the way over here.
Oh.
And then you can drop it next to your HQ.
That's the thing too.
And then like if you say you don't have anything for a tank, you could like maybe get another vehicle, like send it somewhere else. But yeah, there's just so many things you can do with that lander, which is why I'm saying that players might need to adapt rather than like plan ahead. I mean, like, of course, planning ahead is good, but there's just like so many scenarios with the lander. Would you even have enough time to like find the perfect turn for what your opponent could do?
Yeah, simulating this is gonna be pretty dang hard.
It is. There's like tons of opportunities.
Yeah, but I mean, on first glance though, it is definitely more tame than I was expecting it to be. Like the naval that you're gonna see is just gonna be limited to landers and gunboats to just ferry things around. Like you're not gonna see attacking naval units because they don't do anything here. You might see a carrier. Though.
You maybe
the
or
carrier could be crazy. But,
oh my god! You build
there's not nearly enough income for that.
You pick Tasha or Wayland. You build a carrier. You build seaplanes. You load it on the HQ. You win the game. That is just boss behavior right there. But that's so slow though. Maybe a battleship could be built here, and then like a guy could like sit over here and start pushing on the strong side. Actually, maybe. If they're making an HQ push, then a battleship here could definitely support. If it like sits over here.
Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that reaches to the tiles around the HQ, but not the HQ itself.
Yeah, you could like start shooting down some blockers. Like, is it 5 range with the battleship?
It's 5 range, yeah.
5 range, yeah. Like like shoot whatever's in the forest, which is next to a mountain.
Yeah.
So like you can attack from the battleship and maybe get a 2-hit KO. Killing a unit off the forest, but yeah, other than battleships, I'm just excited to see what our players are going to be trying to do with this map. It's not a monstrosity, but there's just so many things that could happen.
Yeah, this is, well, I mean, the reason why we picked it was because it's not an easy map at all.
It's not an easy map.
I am just super excited to see what's going on here. Again, I think we said this maybe before, but there are a total of 40 properties on the map, so 20 income each. That is decent for 3 ground units. You can get the occasional like naval, transport.
Yeah, you don't need to splurge some funds for air units.
Yeah, I think this base on the side is generally going to be relegated to spamming mechs. I wouldn't expect much else otherwise.
I won't be too surprised.
It's weird to bring
the vehicles back.
Yeah.
I won't be too surprised if we see tech ups because there's no air units.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket is actually, yeah, Rocket is pretty good because he can get transported by the lander.
Oh my god, yes.
Usually with so many beaches and plains and stuff, it would not be a good choice. But with the lander, you can do some fun stuff with that. So yeah, honestly, like a lot of things are going to be viable here, surprisingly.
Yep.
And if you're relegating the corner base to just mechs and infantry, then you got what, like 18 to 17k funds to spend on everything else that you want. So that's what you can do, a rocket into infantry, or something like that.
16,000 for 2 tanks and infantry.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. So yeah, I think I don't even know exactly what to expect in terms of like fight dynamics too. Like I'm not sure. Like we generally know that, yeah, as you pointed out earlier, the contested spots are going to be these center properties and these 2 side properties on each side. But what those fights actually look like, I don't really know.
Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
We only got one game. We only got one game for the grand finals, but I am just so excited for this. Like, I actually just want to get to it right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think we can probably just like right after this.
Yeah, right after this. All right, guys and gals. Unfortunately, you might have to wait for grand finals, but we're gonna get to it right after this. But you're gonna know by the end of this weekend, at the time of recording, who is going to be our Tiny Wars Open winner, a very first tournament, Plague or Icy. Guys and gals, I'm Advanced Warrior.
And I'm CJ.
And you all have our warmest regards. Please take care.
Thanks for watching.
Ciao, ciao.